Oh, baby.
Oh,
Okay.
baby.
Okay. Test that. Let's test that. All right.
Theme song
in.
Theme song in
3, 2, 3, 2.
And welcome back to Late Night Late Show. I'm your host Chad White. If you didn't know,
is the
late night
style show for the website peoplescomedy.com.
It's a website. Go there. It's a website. Go there. I came in hot.
My goodness gracious. Turn myself down here.
Welcome back in. This is Late Night.
Welcome
Lately.
back in. This is Late Night Lately.
Episode 96.
And
episode 96.
I also have a
monologue. So let's get to it.
King Charles and Queen Camilla visited the United States
for
for a 4-day
during which they
visited
New
York
York
and took part in a state dinner with
Trump.
President
And if we know
Trump.
anything
And
about
if we know
Trump's
anything
palate,
Trump's
he
palate, he went
all
no
out,
dollar
baby.
menu that day.
No dollar menu
Only
that
full
day.
price
Only
fish
full
delights.
price fish
Fish
delights.
Fish delights.
I heard you like fish and chips.
I heard you like fish and
This
chips.
is just like
that. This is just like that.
King Charles gave a speech to Congress.
Charles gave
that
a speech to
included,
Congress that
subtle jabs at
included,
Trump,
subtle jabs at Trump, like
the
foundation of the
executive
principle
powers
that
subject to
executive
checks and
powers
balances,
subject to checks
and
and balances,
ignore
and
the clarion
ignore
calls to
the
become
clarion calls to become
ever more inward.
Damn.
With
Damn.
heat like that. With heat
Charles
like
should
that,
be at the upcoming
Charles
roast
should be
of
at the
Kevin
upcoming
Hart
roast
on
of
Netflix.
Kevin
Just
Hart
imagine
on
Netflix.
Netflix.
Just
Shane
imagine
Gillis
him there
delivering
with Shane Gillis
delivering
takes
lukewarm
on Kevin's height.
takes on Kevin's
I
height.
heard that you truly short, my friend.
It's my King Charles.
Jeffrey Epstein's cellmate revealed that a
convicted sex offender left a suicide note
sealed by a federal judge.
Fortunately on Epstein Island.
Nothing is sealed.
If you're watching the video,
I pretended to put on sunglasses because I forgot them
over there.
President Trump claimed
that
President
pardon
Trump
for
claimed
Israeli
that
Prime
pardon
Minister
for Israeli Prime Minister
Benjamin
Benjamin
Netanyahu
would make the Israeli president a national hero,
which is the same rationale
I used
to
add coolant to
Baby,
my
I'm the
engine.
best
Baby,
mechanic
I'm the
there
best
is, and
mechanic
there ever
there
will
is,
be.
and there ever will be.
Former FBI Director James Comey surrendered
over an
and
alleged threat against President Trump
when he posted
8647
seashells on social media.
Boy, I've heard she sells
down by seashore,
but I've never heard she sells
anti-establishment shells
somewhere
somewhere
in Washington, D.C.
Elon Musk went to trial against Sam Altman.
And
Surprisingly,
it wasn't for child support.
And finally, Val Kilmer's daughter
recent
defended
AI
the
film
recent
enhanced
performance.
Meanwhile,
The
Michael
biopic made a
Michael
lot of
biopics
adults
defend
defend
the
the adults
pedophile.
defend the pedophile.
And that's all the jokes.
And that's all the jokes I have
Not a lot of
for you
mistakes.
today.
Not a lot of
They were
mistakes,
definitely in
but
there.
they were definitely in there.
Welcome back in.
This is
Late Night
before.
As I
I don't know
mentioned
what's going
before.
on. I don't know what's going on.
Dang microphone.
It's not the mic. It's the cable.
It's not the mic. It's the cable.
I refuse to buy a new cable.
I don't know why.
I also don't know what to search.
I also don't know what
in
to
the
search.
website.
You might hear Law
in
and
the
Order
website.
on
You might hear Law and Order on television.
I needed something on. Listen to that Casey Musgraves album. Casey, if you're listening. If you're watching.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Let's get into this week.
Let's get into
this week
what happened in
on
what
happened in late night. This week in late night.
This week was a
kind of a
progenitor
of
of
what
what
we
we
will
in a
see
couple of
when
months.
Colbert's leaving. He was off this week, and he'll be
next
back,
week,
I assume.
next week,
that'll
I
be
assume.
the
And
final
that'll
run.
be
The final
3
run.
weeks of shows, maybe.
3 weeks of shows, maybe.
It's either 2 weeks
But
or 3 weeks.
they'll be done after that.
They'll be done after that.
And
Shit, what's going on with this thing?
as I was watching
the shows today,
the late night shows today, I realized, this is what it's going to look like in September when all these shows are back from
intermittent
summer breaks and such.
And it's just going to be completely different.
And then when last week tonight, it probably comes back in like October,
whenever
that
October,
ends.
whenever
I
that
assume it's
ends.
going to end in the next
I
couple
assume
of
it's
weeks.
going to end in the next couple of weeks.
And then we'll only have Tonight Show, Late Night, Jimmy Kimmel, The Daily Show. Late Night's going to be in dire. Speaking of which, Sultan of the Swings came on when I was at the gym today. Oh, you better believe I was banging out trap bar bench press to Sultan of the Swing. It's a great song. Whenever it comes on Yacht Rock Radio. First I go, it's not Yacht Rock. But there's also a new Yacht Country. They did a Yacht Rock. They do have a Yacht Rock Soul channel. I assume that one did well enough to where they said, let's bring in the country one. And then there's also Yacht Rock. Sirius XM. For what it's worth, get a deal. Get in there. So you're not just stuck listening to the same stuff over and over again. If I hear, I'll promise to get back to it. But if I hear, I love you two so much. If I turn on YouTube, and I hear Angel Radio, and I hear Angel of Harlem one more time. I swear to God. It just pisses me off. For a long time, they were playing Atomic City. They take the singles. And Angel of Harlem is old. But they take the singles. And they just play them like heck. I don't know why I'm centering myself. They play them like shit. Okay. On the Tonight Show, Jimmy had first of all this week because it's the playoffs. This is going to be something we have to deal with. This is going to be something foreseeable future. I don't know when the deal ends. NBC obviously they deal with the NBA first, and then everything else will come next. And by that notion, when the playoffs go over, so too late night shows. So there are many times this week when I opened up YouTube TV and I went to Late Night with Seth Meyers. That's the first one. Conan's no longer doing a show. I go to Late Night with Seth Meyers. It is either the Tonight Show, the end of a basketball game leading into the Tonight Show, which is wild. That is something you don't deal with. All the time. Ever since basketball started on NBC again. So anyway. Which means I had to watch stuff on YouTube. I prefer to watch the broadcast because I enjoy it. And that's the same thing with SNL. I watch the broadcast of SNL for two reasons. I want to see if somebody curses. I don't know why. I just love it. I don't know why. And then two. I don't. I could watch it on Peacock. I could watch it on Peacock. I could watch it on YouTube. There's no point. I don't want to. There's no point. It's not a communal experience. It's not a communal experience. I want to watch it alone. I hate that we have to see comments on YouTube. All right, let's get back to it. All right, Stanley Tucci. Bring the song. Diljit Dosanjh, who I believe whose people emailed me talk about not for an interview. They just wanted that he's touring. A promotion that he's touring. And I did reach out for an interview. And they said no. Emily Blunt, Hanks, who does a good job. I'll say that. Running Point. Francesco De Carlo did Anne Hathaway appeared as well. Stella McCartney was there. Yahya Abdul-Mateen. Meek performed. And the crew of NASA's Artemis was there. Bruce Hornsby was there. Bruce Gadd was there. And Olivia Rodrigo was there. For Late Night with Seth Meyers, he had Rose Byrne, Eben Moss Baccarat, Reese, Io Debris, Sabrina Rudin, cooked with Seth, Adam Scott and Julia Lena Dunham and the Lena Dunham interview was great. I think it was great. We are too harsh on her. I know she has some things said in the past, but if you are truly supposed to be mental health people, then you could at least have forgiveness for this woman who people have so much disdain. I have nothing against Lena Dunham. There's way more famous people that you should be angrier at. unreasonably angry at.
John Lovett was on. Jimmy Kimmel Live,
taking over the place of
Oz Perlman. I think
that's
from the Correspondence Center, the
Illusionist, or whatever.
Anthony Anderson, Kiki Palmer, Kareem Rama, Desi Lydic, Kevin Morby performed,
Asif Ali and Sagar Shaikh. I don't know.
Shaikh.
I'm so sorry.
From the Deli Boys, they were there.
Promoting the final season
was there.
And Meryl Streep was there. It was great.
And Meryl Streep was there. It was great.
Great set of interviews and things.
Great set of interviews
for Kimmel.
For Kimmel.
Jon Stewart. People were.
Jon Stewart.
Oh my gosh.
Jon Stewart sat in on Monday.
And again,
the Monday shows
were all talking about the White House correspondent attempted shooting scare.
Wouldn't call it attempted assassination.
And
Stewart
spoke to Jodie Cantor.
And then our friend of the show, Josh Johnson,
came in and did the rest of the week.
Triumph the Insult Comic Dog was at the
Correspondence Center,
so we did Correspondence Center, so we did 2 days on the Daily Show, which was great. Matarazzo was in along with Ali Sadiq, and RZA,
and then Klepper,
did
a little bit thing,
and Mo Amer
is a now an op-ed correspondent, I guess.
And then on Last Week Tonight, John Oliver talked about
AI chatbots. Good story. It was a good story.
All right, now let's get into the topic at hand.
This is from the New York Times.
Stephen Colbert did
an exit interview with John Coblin and Amir Hamja.
Stephen Colbert gets ready to hang it up. They spoke about
11 years
on the Late Show and what he learned and regrets and all that stuff.
It's a long. They talked about the cancellation.
They talked about the cancellation
9 months ago.
It was 9 months ago when they learned
they were not going to be coming back.
They talked about what it's like being
topical
on that show, and that how they decided that
they were going to talk
more political people
as opposed to just
people who are in the entertainment industry.
What happened was that they had
higher
ratings because they talked about this stuff.
Then they
spoke about
covering how
Colbert covered
the FCC and the Trump administration and things like that.
I'm just skimming through
because I think it's an interesting read.
But as for Stephen, he has no idea what is
next for him.
And I think that he
is
going to take the time to not have to worry about that
because
I'm sure that he's
not in mourning
of the show anymore. But
I think it's okay for when that show ends
for him to be like, well, I'm disappointed.
Oh, he also talked about how
he declined a 5-year deal
with CBS,
so he would technically still be on today, or at least have one more year in him, or 2 more years. Excuse me. He said during that interview, because it's all during that there was an extension
during which he took only the 3-year version,
and he said less than 2 years before they called
to say it's over. They were very
eager for me to be signed for a long time.
So something changed,
and I'm thinking it was the management. Hold on, I'm trying to.
I have this quote.
I have this quote.
And I need, God damn it! I need to find
Control V.
Let's go back to the being topical part.
When Mr. Colbert took over the Late Show
Letterman in 2015,
his plan was not to have a ruthlessly topical. We were discouraged by the network from being topical.
He said it was my instinct
to be less topical
because I didn't want to have
with what I saw
was an increasingly contentious public
and I thought,
aren't there other ways to have fun with the audience?
But after those, remember those 5 months where he was the months where the show started. The months he was the showrunner. He was the showrunner. And he was pulling double duty. And he was pulling double duty as a producer, the host, and producer. Triple duty, I guess. That the show was not very good. The same thing happened with Late Night. The same thing happened with Late Night with Seth Meyers. It wasn't a very good show until he stopped pretending to be a late night host and started being a version of the SNL correspondent on Weekend Update that he is. By the 2016 National Party Colbert went all in on news and biting criticism. And critics were suddenly writing rave reviews. Colbert is going to be missed. As much as I his audience clapping through every single below mile new joke. He's going to be missed. Let's see. And then this is an interesting question to end from John Colbert. Is there some relief that you're not going every single thing on the news cycle? Every single thing on the news cycle. They're not going to have to think about the same way. Quite the same. Colbert's response is, now I can be as I want to be on a daily basis, as interested as I need to do a show that's about what our national conversation opt out of the national conversation. I mean, I'm an American. I still care about my country. I'm still going to care, but I can do that recreationally, or privately. And I think that's the one. Not having to do show anymore. Is that he doesn't have to pretend. It doesn't have to think. It doesn't have to about every single second of every single day about what show is and has to be in and its place in it and the news around it and the news around it. A news around the United States. A news around the United States and the world of America and the world. But again, he doesn't have to think about what's next now. And the easy answer would be podcast. Go make a podcast. Go do a thing. I think if he takes some time away, he's a good writer. I could see him definitely some type of writing thing, like maybe writing a book, maybe putting out a Substack. That's what people seem to do these days. But his voice will be missed. In the world of late night. Even though it's all the same. It's all the same voice. All the same looking kind of guys and all the same voices. That's not to say anything about. But I do wonder where leaving late night like that would be. Okay. Listen, I think I'm done here. I try to get it 20 minutes. But I have nothing else to say. If you like what you heard, head to the website cpluscomedy.com where you can talk to famous people sometimes. I just put out an interview with Katie Compa. Next week there will be another interview. And the week after that there will be one more interview. If you want to see a video version of the shows, sorry, something's happening on my phone. If you want to see a video version of the shows, as well as most of the interviews, head to youtube.com/C+comedy where you can also see a video version. The other podcast, the LinkedIn Jobs and Business News podcast, and the Constitutionals, the Business News Show. Subscribe to the shows wherever you get your podcast. Follow us on social media. Follow on YouTube, on Blue Sky, Instagram, and TikTok. Follow me on those platforms. Thanks so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.